absolute value and the power of perspective. God is to reality what zero is to math, and with God is heaven or hell. Out of all the opinions held by our founder, Hassan B. Fly, the only one that is an integral part of intellectual righteousness is knowing, understanding, and remembering these two facts will improve your life. God is the title for the creator of all that can be witnessed or measured and the only reality worthy of worship. The existence of perspective makes it easy to assume the one that is so necessary and deserving of high esteem would be good or positive. Truth is, God is absolute. That means God is independent of any limits in perception or bias in perspective. It also means God has no equal or opposite. Just as God is both creator and destroyer, God is the origin of both positive and negative. There's no amount of positivity that can keep the typical idealistic thinking when it comes to God from being open to being seen as weak or foul. The absolute creator. A necessary part of learning any advanced math, beginning with algebra, is absolute value. We are taught this lesson early because everything we will ever do involving numbers is based on it. What we learn in the process is all values are determined by counting up from zero. Positive and negative are opposing perspectives, not states of reality, and the absolute value of all numbers is positive by default. As much as people understand math is an objective way of describing reality, too many fail to apply this basic principle to life. Whatever you consider to be negative is a result of your own personal desires and bias. Reality is what it is, which includes a balance of opposites. The positive is what is desired or real, and the negative is the opposite of what you want. Regardless of what we wish were true, reality is as it should be. All emotional pain are self-inflicted wounds that come from holding on to those wishes in spite of what is actually happening. Most physical pain comes from a mistake or acts as an alarm. Applying the concept of absolute value to life opens the door to benefit from situations that may be unpleasant or not ideal. Journey through hell. Humans have emotions, and some events are so heinous that seeing the bright side or positive by default would seem impossible. That's why it's so important to know, understand, remember with God is heaven or hell. It lets you know the range for absolute appreciation exceeds any misfortunate in life and reminds you true happiness cannot be found without losing life itself and access to everything you loved while living. There is an automatic shift in the way you appreciate life when you realize it is in your power to see the worst mortal event and worst experience ever as a scary, sure thing that leads to total bliss and satisfaction forever. Heaven isn't some reward for not enjoying life. The change in perspective necessary to see heaven takes away the contrary or negative attitudes that can hinder us from triumphing through adversity or fully savoring what we have at our disposal. Hell isn't a threat. It reminds you to be prepared to let go of even the best of things. This underlying detachment allows you to savor each moment without becoming too clingy with what you enjoy. Regardless of any external situation, it becomes impossible to truly lose while worshiping God. Perspective greater than perception. Because sensory perception, our most used and trusted source of information, is fallible, anything true can be doubted to the point of disbelief. Having the final say on what is accepted can lead people to believe satisfaction and self-control come from our power over perception. Those who make this mistake fail to realize willfully ignoring the truth can only produce delusions and lies. Adopting the perception is reality attitude as an excuse to play mind games with yourself or cherry-pick facts is a cop-out. Our real power over how life affects us comes from perspective. The negative is absolute for real, but it's the opposite of desired or ideal. As a goal, it is okay to hold on to this contrary outlook. When dealing with what is, it becomes self-sabotage. Applying the principles of absolute value to your appreciation of what happens in life grants the feeling of amor fati, love of fate, without numbness to the good. That's because you wouldn't be stoically downplaying the magnitude of any event. the mindset and mental focus would be on accepting things as is and finding a way to prosper regardless of circumstance or situation.